Here.
Councilmember Colbert.
Here.
Councilmember Wilson.
Here.
Councilmember Rath. Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Gregory.
Here.
Here. Here. Here. So I'll stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. No invocation tonight. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to the minutes of the June 18th meeting.
Motion to approve minutes of June 18, 2024, regular council meeting as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the June 18th meeting. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to presentations and proclamations. We have the insurance guys. That didn't look like a guy.
My name is Marcia Courtney. I'm representative council. Did it check? Not such a last year, it's still good for $16,486.
Thank you. We'll take it.
Money's money.
Thank you, Marcia. Okay, moving on to proclamations. Our proclamation tonight. Whereas Leroy Kramer has served the city of Valley Center and Smith Phillips Post 73 honorably as commander, and whereas Mr. Kramer has been instrumental in serving and encouraging veterans as commander of the Smith Phillips Post 73, and whereas Smith Phillips Post 73, under the commander of Kramer, successfully accomplished 100% of its annual membership goal for the 2024 membership year. Now, therefore, I, the Honorable James E. Truman, Mayor, hereby recognize Leroy Kramer, Commander, for his leadership and member involvement in the Smith Phillips Post 73 to proudly serve veterans in witness whereof I hereby set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Valley Center be affixed to this second day of July 2024.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. I'm Ron Gordon, City Center, City Council, and the American Legion District. We are here this evening to honor the American Legion Post 73 and their Leroy Kramer for his many years of keeping the American Legion Post open. We have also invited key guests and individuals to help this presentation. They are the American Valley Center, Councilman, Good District Commander Joe Ross, Post Adjutant. We're here this evening to thank Commander Cameron for his contribution to continued success as commander. We are also to present the certificates. First certificate is Also, we have requested help from the city for proclamation to recognize the Indigenous contributions as a commemorative post. We, those who, they've kept the post open this whole period of time. I didn't get involved in the company on the second. First time. Back then. As a member of the district executive, was asked to present these in which student factor received the purpose of the recognized post. Mayor, will you please? We have three certificates to present this evening. First one. The National Commander, Daniel J. Seahawk. Certificate of appreciation to Hero County. The other one is, seems to get this every year, doesn't it? But it's presented to the county. Grateful appreciation. The Lady Manager of Legion Post 73, Valley Center, Kansas. In addition to filling out all the requirement reports regarding 23. And we need both of them. Correct. Oh, this typically been a day on. That's a great job, folks. They've been a long time, they've been a longer time. Most was chartered in March of 1995. Health and April 9th.
I'd like to thank the city, their council. I was the 12 cans. That's all. That's the word I just
Congratulations. Leroy on achieving a 100% membership for the year 2021. Yeah. The organization was founded in 1919. Back to principal Washington Public Health. Gradually, recognition was country design and influence. This evening, we're going to have some church and say, Chris, you're a veteran. And the rest of the council, if you'd like to.
I'm gonna stand behind you. I'm fine with that.
How much you going to help you?
Stand up back here.
All right, there you go. There we go. Ronnie, you got it.
Trying to hide.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, you're trying to hide your shirt.
Why
don't you be the picture?
Come on, I'll take a picture.
I thought Ron was going down on the floor in front. That would have been a great shot. Underneath his chin. Let the professional step in. I tried to say.
Well, thank you again, Leroy, for your service to the post, Lord, and Walt. Moving on to public forum. Is anyone here from the public that'd like to address the council on anything that's not on the agenda? Okay, if not, we're moving on to appointments. We have an appointment to the City Library Board. Kristen Cartwright.
I move to appoint Christian Cartwright to a term on the Valley Center Public Library Board, term to expire April 2025.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the appointment of Chrissy, pulled the name off, to the library board. Is any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to old business, we have none. New business, we have ordinance number 1403-24, alcohol common consumption area.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Somehow I got turned off, but you know I typically don't need it. Corey, this evening is the proposed first reading of ordinance 1407 and 24. This is to create a common consumption area for Fall Fest. This is only used during this event. It's been brought up over the last 5 years that I've been involved, 4 years with COVID being taken off, of course, for Fall Fest, but just having a larger area during Fall Fest than just the small beer garden to be able to consume alcoholic beverages. The state fair has a very similar type of thing, as well as Riverfest and other events around our area. And so we thought that it would be a great idea to put this together. We worked with Public Safety Director Newman, with our city attorney, Mr. Barry Arbuckle, and of course the Valley Center Chamber of Commerce, which Allison Clubb, our executive director, is right here. Let's see. And Allison is going to talk more about kind of what we're looking at doing and answer all the hard questions that you can ask. So I'll turn it over to Allison.
Good evening. I don't think that there's too much that I can add that Brent hasn't, unless there's any questions from council.
Chris? Oh, it's Matt. Steamy.
I don't have any questions, but I was one that brought this up a couple years ago about doing it a different boundary, and I appreciate this being done.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Motion to approve for first reading ordinance 1407-24, establishing an alcohol common consumption area.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 1407-24 for first reading. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Approval of the final plat, SM Estates subdivision.
Yes, good evening once again, Mayor and Council. Before you is the final plat for SM Estates. This area is located on Ford Street, just to the east of Seneca. This does come with approval from the Planning and Zoning Board during their last meeting on June 25th. There will be a rezoning application that was submitted that will be on the July agenda for this, but it does come with favorable recommendation to go ahead and approve the final plat at this time. The only change during the planning process was the applicant did look and explore more at where the flood zone area was on lot 1. And that did change. And so that area actually elevation-wise and requirements to be removed from the flood zone. That's not meaning that this removes it from it. The application will still have to be filled out or go through the FEMA process for the map revision, but the plat does not have to indicate that that's a separate flood zone area. So everything meets the standards and look for a recommendation to approve. Sorry, change the batteries on the fly.
Yeah, Brent, you took my only question because I know that area to the west, the other land to the west is in that flood zone. So that's wanted to make sure that they were aware of that on that west property line.
Yep, and so, yeah, they just have to fill out a simple form to have that removed. So until that's done, they won't be able to get a building permit anyways from us. But this then allows for not to then have to go through another process. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
This already has utilities basically across the street that they could bore under the street and not mess with our new street.
No, yes, absolutely. Yep. And so the new water main that's located on the north side of the road, for each individual lot, they can actually bore that line. And so we haven't forced people to hook up yet. That's something that we'll explore in the future, but our rates are substantially lower than rural water for the ones that are connected to rural water, or some are selling wells. So
Okay,
kind of
is there
depends
sewer
on the property.
available for these?
No, unfortunately, we didn't have the funds available to run sewer, and so the closest sewer line currently is at the apartments, Brookfield Apartments on Ford Street, or at basically Fiddler's Creek on Seneca.
But they would have to do that special septic system.
They'll have to do advanced septic systems. That's why they're larger, estate style or size lots to allow for those.
I was looking at that, and the shape of lot 3 caught my interest as far as that's kind of an odd shape, but it's what they wanted. So the fact that there's most utilities already there is nice.
Yes, I believe a few properties already have folks waiting until the final plat is approved, and they're looking to close really quick. So,
Nice.
yeah, which is
Matt?
exciting. Great tax base for us.
Are the negotiations with the rural water district go pretty good when we have to, we annex property that they serve? Does that discussion go pretty good? Do they
As far as
argue any?
annexation, so this property is already inside city limits. But when we take on rural water customers,
That's what I meant, yeah.
it's spelled out in our agreement. I mean, we have a phenomenal working relationship with Rural Water District 2. We they purchase water from us, and so they're really excited for us to get that water treatment plant online. Let me tell you, because that will drastically reduce their rates as well. And so we pay a one-time fee per the agreement that was negotiated. Ooh, Mr. Arbuckle, how long ago was that Rural Water? Ooh.
The only incident I recall was a lot of years ago.
Yep, it's changed now. Yep. 80s? Yeah, it's since the 80s, that agreement.
Okay.
So it's different than our neighboring city that to the east that has a different agreement that they have to pay.
Thank you.
I think we pay a one-time $150 or something.
Motion to approve the final plat for SM Estates subdivision.
Second?
Have a motion and second to approve the final plat for the SM Estate subdivision. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Moving on to the 2025 budget comprehensive discussion.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We're going to do this as a team effort tonight. All righty. So we did go back and we did look at multiple different reserves. We looked at multiple different revenue sources, anything we possibly could to help out. So this middle column here was what was proposed. That was a 23.006 mill levy going to the general fund. We dropped it by 0.281. So just a little over $0.25 is what we were able to present tonight to you. We did not touch any of the other taxing funds, just general fund. And that brings it to 22.725 going to the general fund, which is a total mill levy, total mills of 54.575, which means we are exceeding our revenue neutral rate by 4.253. And just a reminder, last year we exceeded by 4.909. So quite a big difference versus last year. So this is just a comparison over the last 10 years. The blue is what was presented last council. The yellow is going to be what we're presenting tonight, essentially, versus the last. I mean, we definitely have either been coming down or, staying the same. Here in 22, 23, we were at 54.856. So bear with me here. Oh, sorry. Okay, so the new proposed fiscal year 2025 mill levy generates $1,731,657, which brings our total tax revenue, the other four are the same, to $4,158,643. The city portion of that ad valorem property tax is $3.8 million. Obviously, the library gets 100% of theirs. So again, like stated, this is a 0.281 mill reduction. It is equivalent to $21,412. This would save, on average, each resident approximately $6.47 a year, which is a 54-cent per month savings on a house valued at around $200,000, which is about the average here. And this slide, I apologize if it's a little difficult to read. Hopefully you have the printouts. So the 2025 general fund budget as presented last versus this time is what this shows here. And really just showing our total expenditures of 4.179 million to 4.150, which would be a budgeted income loss of 106.5 thousand versus 98.9. So expenditures, again, kind of what I just stated, 4.179 million for general fund. Now it is 4.150, bringing us from $8,498,132 in expenditures to $8,469,132, which is a $29,000 cut. That was cut from the Parks Department in contractuals. So here is what is different from last time versus this time. So the Parks contractuals includes just kind of a summary. Parks contractuals includes building, property insurance, custodial services, cybersecurity, professional services, building equipment maintenance, mowing, turf, HVAC, utility expense. All of those things are underneath contractuals. So to lower the parks budget by $29,000, we decreased several different expenditures underneath the contractuals group. So we did this not only by lowering expenditures just as a whole for, certain line items, but also by moving some of the expenditures to reserve funds or special funds. So now what's different this time is the Special Parks and Rec Fund has a total expenditure budget of $15,000. And that is a portion of pool maintenance and pool management fee was moved to this. And then building equipment and equipment reserves, those are two different reserves. They are now budgeted a total of $58.1 thousand. And that is what that's comprised of is a replacement of one HVAC unit, trees for East Ford and Ramsey, equipment, supplies and parts, waterfall pump motor, for McLaughlin Park. That is what makes up that $58,000. We have reviewed other options. One of the larger expenses this year was contracting out some of our mowing. So we did look at, what if we just didn't do that this year, right? So that's 800, we calculated approximately 870 man hours is what his department would gain by contracting that out. And so that was actually a bigger loss if we cut that, because now they can take their time and they can go and do equipment, irrigation, maintenance, repairs, things like that previously we might have, outsourced for a lot, larger cost. And those are things that, may just pop up. We don't know about them right now. So it's really hard to budget, an irrigation failure or something like that, in 2025 when we're doing it right now. So that is what is different. General fund revenue, this brought the revenue down to $4,051,785. The only thing obviously that changed is the taxes is now 2.7 million. The expenditures, as previously stated, 4.15 million now requested. Oh, sorry, I am getting used to this mouse. I apologize. So in the request, the only thing that is changed is that $29,000 in parks. So now that contractual item for the department is at the expenditure, is at $10,467 is what we are requesting instead of the $39,467 previously. So this brings the new requested amount to $124,500 in total requests. And this is, again, built into all of the expenditures that were just presented to you. So these are not on top of that. And then library, nothing changed here. This is the exact same as what I presented last council. But now we can, now I can show you here the revenues and the expenditures. This is how it breaks out for motor vehicle tax, trucks, commercial vehicles, water tax, watercraft tax. That's what you're going to be able to see on some of these slides that I've added in here. And then the expenditures, kind of where they're going for, obviously libraries and EDZ1, we just transfer 100% of that over to them. Bond and interest, again, no changes versus last meeting. The expenditures are just completely debt service. That's principal and interest payments. Employee benefits, again, no changes. Here, claims spiked in 2021 and 2022, but they have been on a downward trend. 2023 actuals actually came in lower than expected, and we do predict or foresee them to continue to lessen. So we do now have a $40,000 cap that I advised last meeting on what the city must pay out. So that's why we are pretty confident in budgeting a little bit less this year. And if I can get a change, emergency equipment didn't change. This is the exact same slide as last time. Now we can see here what portion, 25,000 in capital outlay and 40,000 we transfer out. Alrighty, so this here is a new slide. This is going to be past, present, and future. So you can see here 2021 actual through 2023. For the revenues, what actually came in, the expenditures we had, the fund balance, and then this green is going to be the difference in, or the total of what we need to be our 25%. We have that where we need to have 25% over. And so on the next slide, I'll explain more of what this number in green is. So here at this middle column is going to be what's currently budgeted for 2024. Our new expenditure requested for 2025, and this is with the new expenditures of 4.15 million. Proposed this with the new savings, the tax mill levy savings of 0.281. So here we can see with the current expenditures, we are within our fund at 25%. We're still in there. This here is the blue is going to be our total annual revenues that we are projected to have. And then this yellow is going to be the 25%. So that green number was essentially the sum of the blue and the yellow area. Then we have our annual expenditures, and then our required available fund balance is what this green line is. And by the way, let me just mention, even if we went back to the previously proposed mill levy, this is still within our 25%. That does not take us outside of our 25%. All righty, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Clint.
I think Nat has a question.
Well,
Oh, you wait.
wait till it's done, yeah.
This is a slide you've seen before. This is Special Streets and Highway Fund, budgeted versus estimated. We saw this 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry about that. Okay. A little more information. We did add the 180,000 back in for mill and overlay. That was out originally. The street sweeper will be paid off here in a short period of time. I believe about 7 or 8 months from now. So that is ending in early 2025. A little more detail on the Special Streets and Highway. Again, you've already seen this 2 weeks ago. Parks and Rec also did not change. Nothing real significant in there other than we added in 15,000 for pool maintenance and management fees that had not been there in previous years. Alcohol fund did not change. Equipment reserves. The only thing we put in there this year was 8,000 for pump and motor for McLaughlin Park for the waterfall, and $30,000 for equipment maintenance repairs and supplies. Here's some information that you've not seen before. Today we've collected $2.6 million on the pool and rec sales tax. We are averaging $69,720 a month. This is the tax that will sunset in 2036 in March. Right now, we're on a revenue projection of being at $15,838,000. When that sunsets, we are estimating the 2.5 annual increase to get to that number. Oh, this is You can kind of see where we were 2023 to 2024. We are down a bit. Monthly collection right now in 2024 is 70,829 versus 75,615 last year. So we're trending about $4,800 down right now, but there's quite a bit of the year left to go. Again, 2.95% increase over last year, what we've estimated. Water did not change. The only thing that was different in the budget this year was some extra money for water meters for new developments. Sewer did not change from the last meeting. It is now 100% paying for itself through the KDHE loan, which is great. Starting next year, we're going to start looking at aeration basin solution, putting that in the 2025 budget, and how that's going to impact with the new water treatment plant coming on. Stormwater, no changes. Weeks ago, solid waste, again, no changes. This is a spreadsheet that we wanted to give you. You've not seen this one before. This is kind of just FYI on where Valley Center stands ad valorem tax compared to neighboring cities. So we've captured all the cities in Sedgwick County as well as some of the larger ones that are near us. For instance, Mulvane, El Dorado, cities like that. We made the assessed value cutoff at $9 million. So some of the very, very small ones might be missing from this sheet. We did that intentionally. In addition, there's a few hidden columns on here that might, if you would add this straight across here, it might not add exactly. Some of these small towns had, a police and a fire or special line items that were hidden in there, but most of them did not. So I just kept it to the main 6 tax thing: general, bond and interest, library, total, city, state, and county, and school, to keep it simple. You can see though Valley Center's lands around the middle, slightly toward the higher end, toward the lower end of taxes. The only other thing that we did here that's a little unusual is Park City is divided into 2 different school districts as far as the residents. The northern half is in Valley Center School District. The southern half is in USD 259 Wichita. So I couldn't calculate exactly what their assessed value is because they don't have that on their website, but kind of give you an idea of where they're at. The northern part of the city is a 144 total levy, which is and the combined parks, I'm sorry, the 262, I apologize, the 262 part that's in the Valley Center is at a 157.9 levy, and the part that is combined with both districts at a 144.3. The only other city that we broke apart was Mulvane, since it lands in 2 different counties. You can see both Sedgwick County at 150.173, and also Mulvane and Sumner County had the highest total tax levy of 173.319. This is just kind of an informational sheet we want to share with you so you can kind of see where we're at, that we are competitive compared to the nearby cities that are around Valley Center in both Sedgwick County and slightly outside Sedgwick County.
So, after tonight, based on the feedback I get here, I will go ahead and send the notification of intent to exceed. It does not mean that we are exceeding our revenue neutral rate. It's just if there is even a 0.1 chance of that we want to, we need to have this in. So I will send this after tonight's meeting. And that has to be in no later than July 20th. So it will be in there within plenty of time. That hearing will be held on September 3rd at 7 p.m. here at City Hall, at normal council meeting. After that, we'll publish the notification for the 2025 revenue neutral rate hearing. That'll be published on August 15th, and then also on the website. And then we will hold the 2025 revenue neutral rate hearing along with our budget hearing, both at the same, just like we did in previous years. That will be on September 3rd. Then we will pass the resolution to exceed, if that is what council decides, on that September 3rd meeting. Once the public hearing and tax hearings have concluded, we will make that decision. So then I will send the 2025 budget along with the affidavit of public hearing notifications no later than October 1st. Alrighty, I don't,
Okay,
no, there we
Matt,
go.
I appreciate the work you guys done on this. To me, the 54 cents reduction a month isn't worth cutting from parks. People say public safety and public works are your core services, but I consider parks a core service. I don't want to cut anything from either of those 3 areas.
Okay.
If I was for any cut, I would say we get rid of the money we give. I'll get hung by Chris and my wife, but get rid of the Main Street donation, the baseball, those stuff. Get rid of that stuff. I'd rather get rid of that before any of the core services. But I'm not for getting rid of those either. I say we leave it as option A as you presented before.
Thank you for your feedback.
okay, Ben, you were next.
I echo everything Matt said.
I don't know which one was next. Okay.
I'm going to reiterate what Councilmember Stam just said as well, but I would love to have some feedback from you, Neil. That affects your group. You want to get up there and tell me what $30,000 being pulled from your budget means. I'd like for the citizens of Valley Center to hear that. Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, that's quite all right. I'll try to be as detailed as possible, but with regard to some of those cuts, but it does mean quite a bit. And generally speaking, it does matter quite a bit to us. It seems like we've grown a lot in the last several years. We've added the community center. We constantly find ourselves taking on more and doing more. It seems like a little less all the time. That old adage, but we truly do feel that we work really hard in our department. I'm very proud of the crew that we have and the work that we turn out. And the contractuals area is where we make up for a variety of work that we're either A, not able to perform because it's very specialized, or B, it's something we're out here doing this and we're trading tit for tat, basically, to be able to accomplish those other tasks and stuff that we either find to be where we're taking on the more expensive role of taking on those tasks that cost more and saving the city a little bit of money by contracting something out that might cost a little bit less. We did look at several options that Desi indicated and even considered the contract mowing. The contract mowing was a big deal to add this year because it did add quite a bit of opportunity for us to pay for something that cost a little less over here on certain properties to mow and gain us several hours that we could bring back into our department to take on those things that just pop up all the time, or those repairs that do cost a little bit more. So to me, there's a lot of savings and there's a lot of value added by keeping that in.
Thank you very much.
Else?
Well, the only other thing that I noticed was I love your number of the man hours. 850 hours would have to be rolled back into that department, and someone would have to work that out. You don't have the staff today to do that, do you?
Well, we always have to just prioritize what we do.
Without changing anything you do today, though.
Pardon?
Without changing anything you do today, you have no other way to basically suck that 850 hours back in.
I mean, we would essentially have to take on the role of mowing the properties that we're contracting out, and essentially spend more time doing that. And it reduces our time significantly for the things in the buildings that we seem to take a lot longer because there's a lot of troubleshooting involved, or we spend time on specific things. For instance, right now we're working on a lot of irrigation repairs that eats up a lot of time. So when it compares to some of the mowing properties, we really weighed that out when we decided to take on or either contract out the ones we did. It really makes a difference in the product we're able to turn out and the amount of work that we're able to turn out.
Thank you for your input, Neil.
Yeah.
I have a question for Desiree first. So, and I might have misunderstood what you said here. Tonight, we need to decide that we're going to exceed the revenue neutral rate. We don't have to pick a number, do we?
Correct. Yeah. No number has to be decided. This is just,
Okay, because in this document that's in the packet, it has the 54.575 and then the 54.856. So is that,
Yeah, those are the two options.
Right.
But that's really just what we project. So that way I'm just giving the best number I can to the county.
Okay.
That's not a firm number. Well,
Okay.
on September 3rd, that's when we'll decide. So you can even choose to go above that. You can choose good to go below it as much as you want, either way. I just made two so that way you could see right in front of your
Okay.
face what I would be giving.
all right, I just wanted that clarification. And then I appreciate you guys for doing the work and figuring out what it would look like to reduce the rate. Even though it's 54 cents reduction a month, there's some people that need that. And I appreciate that, and that's where I stand as far as, even if it's a little bit helps.
Ben?
I actually did want to comment. I said I was echoing Matt, but I've been on council, I think, close to 12 years. Parks and public buildings has been the fastest thing to get cut every year. And Neil has had to play catch up. And like he said, if he has to reabsorb some of those contractuals, then it means something else gets pushed off the plate. To me, that's the cheap. And as he said, that's the cheapest option is like mowing. I know what it costs to have a sprinkler person come out. And if we can keep that in-house, instead of having to pay it. I remember in years past where McLaughlin basically died because we couldn't keep up with the sprinkler repairs and we didn't have a choice. We didn't have the manpower. We've always had issues with finding seasonal help. And I know that option that we went to a few years ago, being able to use contract mowing, helped a lot. So as much as I appreciate wanting to lower it, to me, it's not worth it for what it's going to do to put him in a hole and possibly put our city in a hole as far as trying to dig out every year. And that seems like what we do to him every year is pile stuff on him of, okay, you're going to get cut. I don't think any of our departments need to be cut. I like the option A that was presented to us. So.
Matt?
Something Neil said just popped in my head. You brought the rec center. That's going to be coming online at the end of the year. That's more responsibility for your people. We just spent a whole bunch of money getting the pool redone. That's going to be on you guys to maintain it. The splash pad, that's more stuff being put on you guys. So again, I'm for option A.
Any other discussion? What's our options here tonight?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to file the intent to exceed the revenue neutral rate with Sedgwick County and set the revenue neutral rate hearing for September 3rd, 2024 at 7 p.m. located at Valley Center Hall, City Hall, 121 South Meridian, Valley Center, Kansas.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to file the notice of revenue neutral rate intent to pursue. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for all your work.
Cool.
Yes,
Yep,
thank you,
you're
Desiree.
welcome.
Okay, I need an executive session for about 15 minutes for, yeah, probably, non-elected personnel.
Motion for council to recess into executive session to discuss an individual employee's performance pursuant to the non-elected personnel matter exception, KSA 75-4319B1. Included in the executive session are city council, mayor, and city administrator. The open meeting will resume in City Hall chambers in 15 minutes.
Second.
8:05.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn for executive session. Any further discussion? All in signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We will
Ben second.
Yeah, that was me.
be back at
Dodge is getting the record rain this year, which is really good because the aquifer at Dodge, which is not our aquifer, it's basically flying.
Yeah, I'm from Western Kansas. I've lived in Dodge.
Okay. So you're a little closer.
Still have family out there, so. Yeah.
Or a lot.
Oh,
Call the meeting back to order. Report.
He's not up here
He's
yet.
coming.
Returning back to session, no actions were taken.
Thank you.
We then have the highlights of an update to our agreement with our city administrator, extending his term for one more year from 2027 to 2028, 4-year rolling agreement. We also then have a 4% increase in base wage from $136,268 to $141,719. Increased monthly cell phone stipend from $100 to $125, and increase 457 deferred comp plan from 8% to 10%.
That was a motion.
That I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Sorry, I didn't put that on the front.
Second to approve city administrator's contract. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify for raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Welcome aboard. Another year.
Well, it's continued.
I'm going to continue, yes. Moving on to the consent agenda.
make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify for raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to staff reports. Neil?
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. Just a couple of things to report on. At the Rec and Aquatic Center, last week at our bi-weekly meeting, or bi-monthly meeting, we got to watch them blowing in the concrete on the walls of the pool, which was really amazing. That was quite a process, and it's just wanted to report it's coming along very nicely. Also, and Brent may want to talk a little bit more on this, but the steering committee they're going to have a tour for the steering committee coming up on July 10th at 5:30 for the Rec and Aquatic Steering Committee. So they'll be out there touring and getting to see that coming up. Lastly, the Ford Welcome Street sign. We're expecting the electrical contractor, Shelley Electric, to come in starting hopefully next week. So after that process is complete and we have our city inspector check off on it, then it'll go to Evergy for getting connected up. So moving forward. Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you. Lloyd? Ron?
So just a quick Meridians update. The east side is, well, I want to say done. It's not done, but all except for some cleanup and lighting. They have all the sidewalks run, all the curb and gutter. We're running down the east side of the road now on concrete. I think it looks pretty darn good. They're moving right along on the west side. They're not letting grass grow under their feet. All the storm water's in. They're pouring sidewalks like crazy down the west side. They poured the first block of road this week. They're hoping to get some more sidewalk poured tomorrow. And I was told there'll be no work Thursday or Friday to be expected here. So hopefully everyone can have a holiday and not worry about all that happening here. So
Is that, we're still on schedule for the rest of that part of the project?
yes,
Okay.
with the added days for the delay, but yes, they're still on schedule to be done by the end of August.
All right, perfect. And then the next question, when are they going to start the southern part of the Meridian?
Well, it's gonna kind of overlap a little bit. They're planning on getting started. They want to try to get started late July, early August on starting the demolition of the east side. They're gonna start
Okay.
on the east lane.
Are we communicating with everything south of the?
Have a meeting next week scheduled with Magellan. First meeting to discuss some of that. So
Okay, I've been asked by at least 1-2 people that live down there and was asking as far as start time. I'm like, I'm not sure.
we'll have to put together an email list like we did for this one, and
Okay.
we'll get to work on that next week.
And the schedule, projects, updated schedule on the website.
Yep.
You can direct people to that. That always stays updated.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Is it on the app by chance?
Yes, you.
Oh, damn.
Robert, excuse me.
I just want to recognize the Pearson group. Those guys were out there. I was up and down that street many, many times Saturday, and they were just hauling tail, getting dirt out of those holes so that street could be prepped and ready to lay concrete today or Monday. I just want to give them some recognition. They were working hard Saturday to get that thing ready. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, they're working through some difficulties, especially in that section. Hopefully this next section won't be quite as congested and a little bit easier.
With Wichita talking about water restrictions
Yes.
going to a level 2, are we prepared to let citizens know about what the restrictions will be and how we're going to police that? If it does get to that, I don't think it ever will, but we need to be
Well, they haven't
prepared.
gotten to level 2 yet.
They're at level 1
They are
now.
on level 1
Yeah.
now, and that's voluntary. We really never did initiate our level 1. Yes, I agree with you. If they go to level 2, us being the customer, we should probably consider that. I'm planning on pulling that out, and reviewing that, what our actual policies are. If they get to that point, yeah, we'll probably come to you. Commission probably ask if we do initiate something.
Okay. I just want to make
Right.
sure
Absolutely.
you're prepared thinking ahead versus
Yes, sir.
getting caught.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Actually, Gary Jansen's on the board with me at the GMD too, so.
Well, I talked to Gary last week about some stuff, so.
That's all. Thank you, Rodney. Nothing. Barry? Clint?
Mayor and council, I'm going to come up really quick with Clint just to clarify something. Earlier, I misstated what I told you. I gave you two different intent to exceed pages because had the opinion tonight been there, since there's no vote needed, just had the opinion been that we did not want to stay at the same mill levy, we wanted to lower it, then I would send in the lower one. I'm going to go ahead and send in, since the opinion seems to be that you don't want to change and lower it, I will send in the higher one because we cannot exceed that. And that's what I misquoted. I had said that we could exceed it or go lower. We can still go lower. So you can choose to go lower than the 54.856. But the statute does say that we shall not adopt a budget that exceeds the proposed mill levy on the notice of intent. So I just wanted to come up and clarify that since I misstated it. Thank you.
Good evening. Everybody tonight on the council should have received a packet from Gordon CPA. We did just complete the annual audit, and I'm very pleased to say that they had no findings from the audit, which is phenomenal. They go through and they go through every single check, every single invoice, thousands and thousands of pieces of paper to complete this audit and for them to find no adverse reactions or anything that need to be adjusted. It's just a phenomenal job. So I do want to
Commend.
commend Desiree, Amanda, Katie, the whole team, the finance director before me. This obviously happened before I was here, but they did a phenomenal job. And 2 weeks from tonight, Sean Gordon from Gordon CPA will be here to present essentially for the official results to council. But I did just wanted to let everybody know you do have a copy of this. If you have any questions between now and then, please either get with myself or Desiree. I'd be happy to try to answer your questions during that time. Thank you.
Thank you. You see?
Just to give you an update, we did do second round interviews for the community development director, and we are in negotiations with the candidates. So hopefully we will have news maybe at the next meeting.
Thank you. Grant?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So thank you so much for extending a contract another 4 rolling years like we've done in the past. I can't believe that actually tonight, thanks to a memory that came up on my Facebook feed, tonight is actually the exact night 5 years ago that I took the oath in this very room with Mayor Lori Dub at the time and Christy over here in the corner, and just couldn't be happier, than with the decision my family and I made to accept the position and move to Valley Center. I could truly say we found our home. It's something that my family and I can't say with the previous 3 other communities as a city administrator, where there's truly a sense of just establishment here now. Seeing your young kids grow up from 5 years, that's a long time when they're little, right? Like they get tall, they get old, mature. I mean, I have a middle schooler that's going into 7th grade, which is wild. And so seeing them and how much they love this town, I'm so proud to be a Valley Center resident and to work with these amazing people every day. Our department directors are absolutely incredible. And I know that Clint will fill that with the finance department as well as our next community development director that we can't quite yet announce, but will be very exciting to announce next meeting. And just the entire team of staff that we work with, that I get to work with every day. They're fellow coworkers, they're friends, they're family now. And so every day I get excited to come to work and serve the residents of Valley Center. Go ahead.
Nothing.
I'll say I'm for any questions. Oh, and it is Clint's birthday, even though he's not here and hasn't been here for 3 meetings. And Clint's never met him. But
Got called out.
Clint Bass's birthday is next Thursday, if you care.
Any questions? Congratulations on 5. Look for 5 more.
Any more after that?
And many more after that. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Moving on to governing body reports. Now that we're getting ready to plant grass and trees along Meridian and stuff, I would like this council and staff to maybe look at a little appeasement to the neighbors for all their patience and care for our new grass and trees that we'll be planting, that we look at maybe freezing their water bills for 3 months or so. So they'll have the incentive to water their grass and water the trees. It doesn't even have to be that long. Just, long enough to get the grass set. That'll be up to the council and staff to figure out. I think that would just be a good gesture on our part. And that's just my feeling. It's going to be a council decision. So other than that, I congratulate Brent, Leroy. He's still here for their participation in Valley Center. Valley Center's getting to be a big bustling community now, and I'm very proud to be the mayor. So that's all I have. Ron?
The only thing I want to say is, I'm looking forward to the additional 5 years. Brent, I'll still try to pin you some way. I'm not sure.
Robert?
Yeah, I'll piggyback on Ron's comment. Congratulations, Brent. But I'd like to also give out a very warm thank you to your wife, because as with any person, your family support is key. To have your family have buy-in to our city and want to be here, want to see your children raised here, that's tremendous. I've been a Valley Centerite now for 23 years, 25 years now. So it's nice to have that buy-in. My wife has buy-in for what I do for the city, and it's very important to have that backing. So congratulations. Leroy, also, thank you for your commitment to the service, to the Legion, and I really appreciate your leadership with them. Thank you.
Dan?
I'll just echo what the previous two said, and I won't add anything to it. Thank you both and everyone.
Gina?
Just a reminder that the Sedgwick County Association of Cities will meet July 13th in Goddard.
Dale?
Nope, thank you.
Chris?
No, I'm good.
Matt?
Just want to echo what other people said about previous people. And also, I'll let you know that I talked to my BNSF representative, and he said that double tracking through the Flint Hills will be done by the end of the year, so we should see a reduced train traffic going through town shortly after that. And regrettably, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.